Welcome back to the Watchman, a continuous study on the book of Esther. Last time we recapped chapters 1 and 2, where King Ahasuerus of Persia was holding a grand feast and summoned his queen, Queen Vashti, to come, but she refused. So, of course, advised by his counselors, they threw her out, and then basically a new search for a queen took place, and Esther, a Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai, was chosen throughout this competition, but kept her Jewish identity a secret. And then while this whole thing's going on, Mordecai uncovered a plot to assassinate the king, and he informed Queen Esther, who then relayed the warning to King Ahasuerus, leading to the conspirators' execution. And the whole idea of chapters 1 and 2 is that in our lives, even though we go through seasons where we may not see God's direct hand at work, however, just like in the story of Esther and her life, God is always orchestrating events behind the scenes for our good and His glory, and we can trust that even in the silence, He is in control. So if you read chapters 3 and 4 for this study, just a quick recap. Chapter 3 and 4, we have Haman, an official, elevated by King Ahasuerus, becoming enraged when Mordecai refuses to bow down to him. In response, Haman convinces the king to issue a decree ordering the annihilation of all Jews in the Persian Empire on a specific date, and the decree is sent throughout the kingdom. Then moving forward in the story, we have Mordecai mourning this decree, wearing sackcloth and throwing ashes on his face. He urges Esther to intercede with the king, but she is hesitant because in this culture, approaching a king without being summoned could eventually lead to death. Mordecai reminds her that she too will not escape this decree because she is a Jew as well, and that perhaps she has become queen for such a time as this. Esther decides to act, asking Mordecai and the Jews to fast for 3 days while she prepares to approach the king. Just a little plug-in commercial here real quick. When I heard about how she asked Mordecai and the Jews to fast for 3 days, made me think about prayer and fasting. So I will be studying that and providing a little study later on in weeks to come after this book is over, and maybe some others. But back to this. So basic overview here, we have God placing Esther in a specific position at a specific time for His greater purpose. She has a choice to remain silent or step into her calling to save her people. Just like Esther, we too are called to courageously step into the roles God has given us. Now, to look at a key verse here in chapter 3 of Esther, go down to verse 7, and it reads, "In the first month, which is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, that is the lot, was cast before Haman from day to day and from month to month until the 12th month, that is the month Adar." So here we have a specific time and date of when this annihilation of the Jewish people would take place. A lot was cast, which is going to be very important in the later chapters. And then in chapter 4, verse 14, it reads, where after Mordecai learns of this plot and he goes to Queen Esther, this is what he says to her. Chapter 4, verse 14. "For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, and you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have not attained royalty for such a time as this." See, God places us where we are for a purpose, even if we don't immediately understand why. When Haman rises to power and plots to destroy the Jews, Mordecai urges Esther to act on behalf of her people because she is now queen. She was elevated to that position through God's divine plan. And he's reminding her that perhaps this royal position she was placed in for such a time as this, to save her people. And though Esther was initially hesitant, she ultimately chooses to step forward in faith and fulfill that God-given role. Now, God places us in specific situations, such as jobs, community, relationships, not just for our own benefit, but to accomplish His purposes. We must be willing to seek His guidance and step into these roles He has called us to, even when we fully don't understand His plan. So I hope you're encouraged by this, knowing that God is behind the scenes, orchestrating everything. Yes, He gives you an opportunity to make good or bad decisions, and through that we can gain wisdom, right? But I just hope that this was an encouragement to you, knowing that even in the silence, the position that you're in, God is in control. I hope that you read chapters 5, 6, and 7 for the next video of the book of Esther. And until then, take care, God bless, and be strong.